What are some of these differences between men and women that you feel like are not socially constructed, that are not malleable, that are not just based in our current gender norms? Because obviously there are some people on the quote unquote extreme or radical left that would say virtually all of our behavior and what we consider to be typical male aggression and typical female hoarding by males is a consequence of the patriarchy and not our evolutionary history or our genetics. What do you say to that?
Well, whenever we start discussing the evolutionary sciences, I think it's important to be aware of some pitfalls in our thinking. One is called the naturalistic fallacy, and the idea that something, just because we have an instinct for it, it's necessarily moral or it's necessarily desirable or that it's inevitable, right? A kind of deterministic way of thinking about it. And a lot of times our instincts are none of those things. And the interesting thing to me is that people will commit these errors in very stereotyped ways depending on what side of the political spectrum they fall. So on the left, that mistake may be made by thinking gender inequality is undesirable, so therefore there must not be any biological differences between men and women, or war is undesirable, so we simply cannot have an instinct for it, right? And on the extreme right, it may sound more like, well, war is natural, so therefore it's okay. There are gender differences, so that justifies gender, inequality.
Just to reiterate the question, do you disagree with the sentiment that our instincts, even our instincts, like male instincts and female instincts, if you can call it that, are socially conditioned and are the product of our current environment or our historical development, rather than what's in our DNA?
Oh, I think it's rarely ever either or. I think we have a set of instincts designed to operate in a changing landscape and adapt. So I think it's both. I think if you were to say, I think it's neither it's very infrequently just learning or just instincts. It's both. But I think to your point, I think the left most commonly makes the mistake of saying, it can't be instinctual. It's got to be socially constructed.